Irfan Razack from Prestige Group joining in the show right now to help us understand how the real estate market has been shaping up almost a year into the pandemic. Mr. Razack, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Good morning, firstly.
Good morning.
Okay, just wanted to understand, Mr. Razack, what really is the status when it comes to the real estate market? Now, I know that it's very region specific, but what's been your reading across India? Would it be wise to say that the real estate market may have bottomed out almost a year now into the pandemic?
Actually, it's the other way around. The sales have picked up across the country. Everybody has sold inventory like never before. They've done some of the highest sales. Even our company, last quarter, we've done record sales of 2,000 plus crores in a quarter, which we've not done before. So I think that trend seems to be continuing. And that is a very good trend. And people have realized that they have to invest, buy a home. And this is an opportunity. Interest rates are at the least. And they are getting the properties at a fairly decent and reasonable price. So everyone across the board, across the country are committing themselves and creating an asset for themselves, a home for themselves. And I believe that's a good trend.
But help me understand, what are the buyer trends all across? Is it more the affordable segment that has seen buying kick in? Or would it be safe to assume that across the board, real estate as a market has picked up? What are the trends that you're witnessing, for instance, when it comes to the luxury segment, or for that matter, even commercial real estate?
Surprisingly, across all segments of homes, the demand is there. Starting from the mid-income, or as we call the affordable housing, going up to premium housing, going up to luxury housing. Every segment has picked up. In fact, some of the luxury home sales, which were sort of very weak in sales, have now picked up, and most of the inventories are getting cleared up. So I believe this has been an opportunity where when the inventory was available, yes, it got cleaned up. Now that gives the developers courage to bring more new inventory into the system. But then one thing that I need to say here is, it's not all developers who have been established, who have done good work, who have delivered in the past, who have satisfied their customers. These are the developers that are benefiting with this trend, with this upside, with this huge phenomena of sales happening. Not that everybody has got the same effect. So the whole impact is on the established players, on the players that have done well and satisfied their clients. And it need not be big or small. It could be any category of developer. But the most important is the delivery and satisfying the customer. And that has been done in the past. The confidence of the customer will be there, and then the sales will happen for them. And that is something that we all need to note. There's been, of course, while that is happening, consolidation also is taking place. Many players have tried to go and join up with the established players also. So at some point of time, the consolidation will continue, and there will be a lot less players in the market.
Sure. Right. Mr. Razack, just to understand from you also going forward, which are some of the assets that have been identified for transfer to Blackstone? And is there a provision as well for a further stake sale to Blackstone or to even any other strategic partners?
See, this is business as usual. I think what assets we have decided to now sell to them and partner with them are all in the public's domain. There are 18 assets totally, which now we have diluted either 100% or 85%. The mall portfolio per se, where we have given away 85% of our shareholding, 15% we still retain. This is just a sort of confidence measure to see that We are there to handhold and see that the management happens properly. And the overall thing is, we've also partnered with them for under construction office and commercial assets. Those are three or four of them. So it's, I believe that as we go along, we are producing many more malls. In that, they are not a part of it. But it could be possible that whenever we go along, whenever these assets get ready, because while we are diluting 5 million square feet of retail space, we are also currently planning and under construction about 6 million square feet of retail mall space. So it will sort of replace what we have given away, and it will actually increase the square footage and increase the revenue of the company. Similarly for office also. So it's an ongoing process, and I believe that as we go along, more and more opportunities will keep coming. And if this partnership flourishes, maybe we'll continue with this partnership fully and not even look beyond. But as this is all something that is speculative. It's only something that we need to look at as we go along. But at the moment, whatever we are doing with them is like almost in the last stages of conclusion.
Okay. The disruption in commercial realty, pre and post lockdown, how has that impacted metrics, valuations?
Yes, commercial realty at least has done well in the sense that wherever, in spite of lockdown and post-lockdown, all the multinational companies who were tenants, the larger tenants, all of them have paid their rents. They have not defaulted. Yes, as we go along, in the last couple of months, there have been some notices where for vacation, giving up space and also downsizing space. But on the other side, we've also got new inquiries. There are that many more new requirements that have come up. So it's sort of it's a leveler. Now, as we go along, we'll have to see, because we thought maybe by now the entire world would have settled down with the pandemic, but that's not happening. So it's a matter of time. We'll have to just do a look and feel and see how we can handle this thing and how people will return. Most important thing is people have to return back to office. Now, what is happening is everybody is working from home. But unfortunately, what we find is we say working from home, the offices are they are not going back to the offices, but the roads are full, the streets are full of traffic, the restaurants and the malls are full, but the workspaces are empty. So I think people have to go back to office, and that trend continues, then the office space will again stabilize. It's only a matter of time. We'll have to wait and watch when that happens.
Okay, Mr. Razack, it's taking that point forward, a lot of the IT companies as well are doing well in the Bangalore market, and that's leading to an increased spending power. Has that translated to more demand for homes in this market?
Yes, it has. You see, that was one of the fears we had during lockdown. I said, if people lose jobs, if they can't pay their EMIs, then there'll be a big problem. Now, fortunately, it has not happened. What has happened is the other side. The jobs have been retained, and many people have got new jobs and bigger pays. So all in all, that has given the confidence to the consumer. They are now spending and having the courage to buy, bigger home and also to spend on retail, and that's what is the triggering the economy and moving things on. And I believe that's a very plus point. And I think that's in most of the economies where IT is present, most of the cities, it's Bangalore, it's Hyderabad, it's Mumbai, Chennai, and Pune. These are the cities that really benefit out of it. Of course, Delhi also.
Okay, fair enough. And give us a sense as well as to, whether or not you believe that this sort of a rebound is a one-off phenomenon, or do you think that interest levels can sustain in terms of the kind of bounce back that you're referring to?
See, I wouldn't call it one-off. The demand was always there, but the consumer was wary. They didn't know what would be the right time to buy. But with the pandemic, what really happened is it jolted them. Otherwise, it was a thought that why should I buy? Why should I get into a debt for 15 years or 20 years? I can pick up a home on rent and then I can move from one city to the other or one country to the other. But now that thought is disappeared. Now people have realized that there has to be some place called home. And that's the reason why people have looked at some large developments where they have the open spaces and where they can sort of establish themselves. Their families can be safe. And in case they do have to travel at some point of time, so be it, that will happen later. But they all thought that something needs to happen and they have to buy a home for themselves, which they can call their own. It becomes an asset for them. And that's the thought process. And interest rates have definitely helped. And as long as the interest rates sustain at these levels or maybe go down a bit, I think the sales will keep going on at the same pace. And there is a lot more that can happen in the next, at least this financial year or the next financial year. We believe that there's a lot of potential across the country.